The episode begins with Anurag finally admitting something he has avoided saying aloud for years. Someone broke his heart. There's no anger in his voice, just exhaustion. Rodica gently asks if she can know about his past. After a pause, Anurag tells her about Ishani. He explains how they were deeply in love before he left for abroad. By the time he returned, Ishani was married to Shashwat. Fate, however, brought them face to face again in college. He tells Rodica that Ishani had been unhappy in her marriage. She wanted a divorce because of the domestic violence she endured. During that time, he and Ishani grew close again. They restarted their relationship, believing they would finally get the life they were once denied. But then everything changed. Shashwat fell ill. Ishani went back to his house. Anurag says he waited. He kept waiting, believing she would choose him. Instead, she stayed. Rodica quietly asks if that is why he decided to marry someone else. Anurag admits that he felt betrayed. He says he waited for years, believing in love, only to be left behind again. He decided he had to move on because waiting had become unbearable. Rodica, however, gently says that Ishani must have her own version of the story. Anurag responds that it doesn't matter. Whatever her reasons are, the truth remains the same. She did not choose him. Rodica then surprises him by asking to see Ishani's photo. Anurag hesitates, but eventually shows her. Rodica looks at the picture and admits Ishani is beautiful. She understands why Anurag waited all those years. Anurag confesses that he regrets waiting. He wants to forget everything and move forward. Rodica asks him one last question. Is he sure he has forgotten Ishani? He tells her to trust him. He says he is not doing anything wrong. He just wants a new beginning. Rodica then opens up about her own past breakup. She tells him she understands heartbreak too. Their conversation ends on a hopeful note. Anurag says he is happy he met her and hopes they can meet again. Rodica simply nods. But the next day, Rodica does something unexpected. She goes to Shashwat's house. When she meets Ishani, she introduces herself calmly. She tells Ishani that Ishani doesn't know her, but she knows about her. Then she drops the news. Anurag is getting married. Ishani is visibly shocked. She says she had no idea. Rodica then reveals that she is the bride. Ishani forces herself to congratulate her. She says she is happy Anurag will finally settle in life. But Rodica doesn't stop there. She tells Ishani she came to hear her version of the story. She doesn't want to enter between two lovers unknowingly. Ishani says she is not destined to marry Anurag. She doesn't even know if she believes in a second marriage anymore. Rodica points out that Ishani still loves Anurag. Ishani doesn't deny it. She says love will always exist between her and Anurag. But that doesn't mean she will come between him and Rodica. She says Anurag waited for her for years and she feels grateful. But that wait turned into a curse for him. Then Ishani turns the question around. She asks Rodica if she loves Anurag. Rodica honestly admits she only likes him. Ishani smiles softly and blesses her. She gives Rodica a sari as a gift and says Anurag will keep her happy. Rodica hugs her, thanks her, and leaves. The moment the door closes, Ishani breaks down. She cries silently, knowing she has once again stepped away from the love of her life. The episode ends. Precap. Rodica tells Anurag that Ishani still loves him. Meanwhile, Ishani tells Raj Didi that she only wants Anurag to be happy. Raj Didi suggests that maybe everything should become fine between Ishani and Shashwat. Episode 2, The Wedding Card. The episode begins with tension that has been brewing for years finally surfacing. Anurag stands in front of Shashwat, and the weight of the past hangs heavily between them. His voice is controlled, but his eyes reveal unresolved anger. He says he will never forget what Shashwat did. And forgiveness? That is not something he can offer. Not now. Maybe not ever. To him, Shashwat's words hold no value. He tells Shashwat to go home and rest. But Shashwat doesn't argue. For the first time, there is no arrogance in him. No defensiveness. He calmly says Anurag has every right to be angry. Then he admits something that changes the tone completely. He doesn't have much time left to live. The words land heavily. Shashwat says he is not afraid for himself. He is worried about Ishani. What will happen to her after he dies? Anurag responds practically. Ishani is an adult. She will figure out her life. But then he adds something quietly. Maybe Shashwat has fallen in love with her. Shashwat doesn't deny it. He confesses that he never valued Ishani when he had the chance. He failed her as a husband. He hurt her. And now, when he finally understands her worth, it is too late. He says he cannot suddenly start loving her properly when his time is almost over. Anurag surprises him by saying that maybe they should give each other a chance. But Shashwat shakes his head. He says Ishani has always loved Anurag. He knows it. He sees it. He doesn't deserve her. But Anurag does. Anurag's love for Ishani was pure and patient. Anurag looks conflicted. He says he will pray for Shashwat's health, but he cannot accept Ishani anymore. Shashwat sees through him. He says Anurag still loves Ishani. He just believes she stopped loving him. Before leaving, Shashwat makes one request. He asks Anurag not to tell Ishani that he came to meet him. Anurag doesn't respond. Shashwat leaves. When Shashwat reaches home, Ishani immediately questions him. She wants to know where he went without informing anyone. Raj Didi scolds him gently and tells him he needs to take care of himself. Shashwat brushes it off. He says nothing will happen to him. Then, unexpectedly, he says they are the only people he has in his life. He won't let them go anywhere. Ishani quietly replies that one day she will have to go. Shashwat says that day is not today. Raj Didi asks him if he went to meet Nandini. Shashwat says that chapter is closed forever. He went to meet someone else. He does not elaborate. He then turns to Ishani and asks if she is fine. The question feels deeper than it sounds. He encourages her to share her emotions with him and Raj Didi. He tells her she is family. Ishani insists she is fine. Shashwat changes the topic and asks about her future plans. He suggests she join his business so she can secure her future. But Ishani says she wants to live life on her own terms, perhaps trying to create some normalcy. Shashwat suggests they all go out for dinner. Ishani agrees. For a moment, the atmosphere lightens. Later, alone, Shashwat regrets everything. He thinks about how he failed to understand Ishani's worth. He silently promises himself that as long as he is alive, he will try to keep her happy. The next day feels almost peaceful. Shashwat says he enjoyed the previous evening. Raj Didi excitedly talks about the horror movie they watched. There is laughter in the house, something that was missing for a long time. Shashwat even prepares tea for Ishani. Raj Didi praises his cooking skills. He jokes that he is planning to start cooking again. For a brief moment, it feels like they are rebuilding something fragile. Then the doorbell rings. A courier arrives. It is from Anurag. Shashwat casually comments that maybe Anurag is missing Ishani. He says it lightly, but there is meaning behind it. Ishani opens the envelope. Inside is a wedding card. Anurag and Rodica's wedding invitation. Everything inside her collapses at once. The room fades. Her hands tremble. Memories flood her mind. Her first love with Anurag. The promises they made, the years he waited, the moments they reunited, the hope she once held. Her eyes fill with tears instantly. Shashwat notices her reaction and asks what happened. Ishani forces herself to speak. She says it is good news. Anurag invited them to his wedding. Shashwat looks at her carefully. He understands more than she says. He gently tells her she can rest in her room if she wants. Ishani doesn't argue. She rushes to her room. The door closes, and she breaks down completely. She cries not just for the wedding, but for every moment that could have been hers, for every decision, for every sacrifice, for every time she chose duty over love. Outside her room, Shashwat stands silently. He knows, and for the first time, he fully realizes that even though Ishani stayed in his house, her heart never truly left Anurag. The episode ends with Ishani crying alone, clutching the wedding card, as if holding proof that she has lost him forever. Episode 3, The Letter and the Broken Wedding. The episode begins in Anurag's house, where wedding preparations are in full swing. His mother calls out to him, slightly annoyed, asking why he still isn't ready. She reminds him that Rodica's mother has already called. The haldi must be sent on time. Everything has to happen at an auspicious hour. Anurag seems detached. He casually says Rodica must be enjoying herself at home. It won't matter if the haldi reaches a little late. But his mother doesn't agree. For her, rituals matter. Timing matters. She wants everything perfect. Anurag's Masi arrives carrying the haldi. There is warmth in the house. His mother thanks her and says she is relieved to have her support. Masi smiles and says she could never miss Anurag's wedding, especially after waiting so long for him to finally agree to marry. His younger sister teases him, telling him married life will change him. Anurag playfully threatens that he won't help her with her studies anymore. She dramatically asks how she will become an IPS officer if her big brother abandons her now. For a second, Anurag's mind drifts. He remembers how Ishani once prepared for her exams with determination. The memory flashes and disappears just as quickly. He tells his sister she should move in with them after marriage to help their mother. She jokingly threatens to mix salt in his tea. Their mother interrupts, reminding Anurag that guests have started arriving. It's time to get ready. Everything feels normal, until a letter arrives. It is from Rodica. Anurag opens it casually at first, but as he reads, his expression changes. Rodica writes that she met Ishani. She tells him the truth he has been avoiding. He still loves Ishani. And because of that, she cannot move forward with this marriage. She says she does not want to become the wall between two people who still love each other. She admits she cannot give him the kind of love he deserves. She refuses to build a marriage on half-truths and suppressed feelings. And so, she calls off the wedding. She tells him to marry Ishani and live the life he always wanted. The letter ends there. Silence fills the room. Anurag's mother walks in, asking when he will get ready. Instead of answering, he hands her the letter. She reads it. Her hands tremble. Tears gather in her eyes. The wedding that she had just begun celebrating collapses in a matter of seconds. She looks at her son, heartbroken, confused, devastated. Anurag gently wipes her tears. He hugs her, trying to be strong for her even though his own world has just been shaken again. The wedding house, once filled with excitement, slowly becomes quiet. The next day shifts to Shashwat's house. Pihu and Siddharth return from their trip. Raj Didi happily welcomes them and asks about their vacation. Pihu excitedly says she enjoyed every bit of it. Shashwat teasingly asks Siddharth whether he understands Pihu better now. Siddharth smiles and says he likes Pihu exactly the way she is. Ishani joins them and lightly teases that Siddharth must have fallen for Pihu even more during the trip. Pihu studies Ishani carefully. She notices the dark circles under her eyes. She asks gently if Ishani is okay. She doesn't look like she slept well. Ishani brushes it off and says she's fine. Raj Didi then jokingly complains about Shashwat's new, overactive behavior. Shashwat says he has to stay active. Siddharth agrees that it's good he has started going out more. Pihu advises him to take it easy. Shashwat insists on making tea for everyone. Siddharth offers to help him in the kitchen. While they are away, Pihu lowers her voice and turns serious. She reminds Ishani that today is Anurag's wedding. And then she says something bold. They should go to Anurag's house and stop the wedding. Ishani immediately refuses. She says Anurag invited them. That means he has made his decision. But Pihu is frustrated. She tells Ishani to stop acting Mahan all the time. For once, she should think about herself. She should fight for her love instead of sacrificing it again. Ishani's voice remains steady but fragile. She says she cannot create chaos in Anurag's marriage. She will not destroy someone else's happiness. Pihu doesn't understand how Ishani can be so calm when her whole world is slipping away. What Ishani doesn't know yet is that the wedding she is trying so hard not to disturb no longer exists. The episode ends with two parallel emotions hanging in the air. Ishani preparing herself to let go forever, and Anurag standing in a house where his wedding has already fallen apart. If you want, I can now write the next episode where Anurag goes to confront Ishani after the wedding is called off ice.